What's going on, family? So today I am back with another one. I do need to give you a warning ahead of time. There may be a humongous trigger for you in this video because, yeah, I'm not telling one of my light-hearted story times, or it's not a Steve Wilkos video because, as I told you guys, they throw copyrights at me every time I try to do one of those videos. This video is about the Brooke Skylar chick. This girl who hid her pregnancy and buried that baby in the backyard. Yeah, I'm gonna get into detail to explain to you exactly what happened, okay? In Carlisle, Ohio, Brooke Skylar Richardson was born to Kim and Scott Richardson in 1999. Their town is pretty small. It's basically like everybody knows each other type thing. If something happened to me, you would know my business type thing. They were also pretty known around their suburb, little village area. Like, they were known. Always went by Skylar. She didn't go by Brooke. For some reason, they all knew her by her middle name and not Brooke. Like, obviously, some people knew her first name was Brooke, but seriously, like, even in the news and everything when shit happened, her name was Skylar. It was listed as Skylar. Skylar was described as a very good student, a model student, straight A's. She was in everything you could think of when it comes down to school. She did the student council, all of that. She was also known to be very athletic, was a part of the cheerleading team. Her position was, she was the flyer. I don't know if you guys know what that is. The flyer is like a small person, and it's like if we were to do a pyramid, the smallest person would be at the top. And or whenever we're doing the tricks and we're holding you in the air, more than likely we're gonna throw your ass up there. Yeah, that's a flyer. Now, her brother Jackson Richardson was also athletic. He was a part of the football team that she cheered for. So as I said, they were well known through their community. They lived in the suburbs. It wasn't too big. We all know each other's business, you know, that type thing. For the people who are on the outside looking in, the family seemed to be the perfect little family. Little do people know, they had some secrets, as every family does. But it was hard for other people to understand that something so traumatic can happen in their town. The last time something major happened was in 2003, and it was about a football coach who killed himself. But it was also said that the mother was very, very consumed with how the family looked. She needed everything to be perfect. She needed you to believe that everything was perfect. They said she was extremely vain when it came down to looks and things like that. I need you guys to remember what I just said about Kim worrying about how things looked on the outside, okay? One of the secrets was Skylar had an eating disorder. She was bulimic. They said that it consumed most of her life. It started when she was around 11 or 12, and they said it was so bad to the point to where she didn't even want to eat gum or chew gum because gum has 5 calories, and that was a lot for her. As y'all know, when I'm doing these types of stories or when I'm covering something, I give my opinion throughout because that's what the hell my channel's for, okay? And in my opinion, from what everyone said about the mother Kim being a vain person, I feel like she added to this. When I get a little further in, y'all will understand where that's coming from. But as of this moment, I say she added in. I feel like she was a part of the problem. But it was said that the parents tried to help her. Kim and Scott said that they tried to get therapists, nutritionists, and doctors and all that to help her, and nothing worked. They said whatever they tried, it did not work. So I honestly feel like by her cheerleading and being a flyer, I feel like that added to it as well, because again, you have to be small to get thrown in the air and people catch you. I mean, I'm just saying though, you can't be like Like, they wouldn't throw my ass in the air. Not no more. I used to be the flyer, though. Ain't that funny? But it was also said that Skylar didn't really like talking to people about things going on in her life. They say that really didn't go to her parents and tell her parents much of anything. My feeling on that is, if your kid ain't comfortable enough to tell you something, and I'm looking on the outside in, baby, you must be a judgmental person, or they are extremely uncomfortable from something that happened before. I'm editing my video, and I was talking about how Skylar ain't go tell her parents that she was pregnant. But honestly, I don't know how I left out the part that kids can just be sneaky as fuck. I truly think it honestly was the fact that Kim is very judgmental. But kids can literally just be sneaky as fuck. You can have an open conversation and they can sit and lie to your face. For her not to want to tell her parents things, I truly believe in my heart her mother got something to do with that. Because if she's a vain person, and if she's worried about image and all of that, I feel as if her mother had to have been judgmental as all hell. I mean, for real, if you look at it, vain people are judgmental. Put it together. 2 and 2 is 4. In February, prom's coming up. In February, she goes and gets fitted for a dress. And she fell in love with this dress. It was a red dress. You'll see it in the corner. But she fell in love with this dress. And if I'm not mistaken, they did buy the dress then. In July of 2016, she was dating. I told you the February thing because I need you to remember it. But that was 2017. I'm about to tell you real quickly about 2016. In July, she was talking to this boy, Trey. I'm going to tell you what the situation really was. Because they tried to put the word dating on it. It wasn't them dating. They were friends with benefits, baby. Because it didn't last long. You know, it wasn't a real relationship for real. Late 2016, she was basically done with Trey. And she moves on to Brandon. And Brandon basically was the love of her life. She was extremely happy. It was her first very serious relationship. So it was a big deal for her. Her family fell in love with him. Like, they thought he was such a good addition to her because she was starting to gain weight and she looked more healthy to them. That felt like he was a good influence on her because that was the happiest she looked for a very long time, according to everyone. But like I said, February is when she went and got fitted for the dress, for prom, you know, all of that. So, at her being in this relationship with Brandon and with how close they were and how often he was around the family and how the family liked him so much, the mother says, hey, baby, talking to Skylar, she says, we need to go get you on some birth control. So Skylar agreed to it. So April 26, 2017 was her very first appointment to see the OB. The OB is the gynecologist, y'all, if y'all knew. Like I told y'all, she was going there to get birth control. When she goes, she gets a surprise. They get there, the mother sits in the lobby due to the fact that Skylar's 18. She goes in with the doctor and she found out she is pregnant. Now, they had guesstimated. They tried to really guesstimate, aka estimate, how far along she was. The kicker to that is they were completely off. They were really off. What they came up with was... Okay, so when I was recording, I sort of kind of put the wrong date down. They actually came up with her being about 20 weeks. But no, baby. It turns out she was 36 weeks. That's 8 months going into 9 months, y'all. As a matter of fact, you just hit your 9th month. How you guesstimate a whole extra month, like, away from what I really am? Like, holy shit. But by her being 18, the doctor is not obligated to tell the mother anything. So here's what happens. They guesstimated the date, which they was wrong, completely wrong. Skylar basically talks this doctor into giving her the birth control pills anyway, because that's what they came there for, and she didn't want her mother to know she was pregnant. And as we know, I told you, Kim vain, she vain. Their family's perfect. Understand? The doctor says to her, if I give you this prescription for these birth control pills, you need to have your ass back here in a month. That's what Skylar agreed to. I also need to add that the doctor offered her prenatal help that day. She said, hey, we need to get on your prenatal care. But Skylar says, no, I'm good. Just give me the birth control. And that's why they came up with the deal for her to come back in a month to get the prenatal care. Skylar wouldn't even take the prescription for the prenatal vitamins. She turned all that shit down. She said, no, just give me the birth control pills. I'm sorry, but if I'm in the shoes of this fucking doctor, you ain't getting no birth control pills. I forgot to add multiple things in this section. So Skylar had asked the doctor over and over, how do I get rid of this pregnancy? And you know how I told you guys that she estimated her as being 20 weeks. Even if you're 20 weeks, you're way too far along for an abortion. So she did the ultrasound, found it to 36 weeks, not the 20 weeks. So Skylar still continuously asked her over and over, how do I get rid of this pregnancy? Now the doctor said she was extremely fearful of giving her those birth control pills, because even with the studies being done, they still haven't figured out if it will cause birth defects or anything else. So she was fearful of giving her the birth control pills, but she also felt like she didn't have a choice because they made a deal. The deal was she comes and get prenatal care within that month, and she gives her the pills. That being first. But secondly, you pregnant walking in this bitch. What you mean? You not getting no goddamn on birth control pills. And y'all, this is so left field, but I tell y'all about like the paranormal shit that happened in my household all the time. Why the fuck did my fucking lights just fall over? They've been standing up nice and sturdy for hours now. All of a sudden, these bitches want to fall. Like, so y'all need to tell me if y'all see some shit in my background that I don't see. Thank you very much. May comes. She goes back to the dress store. She gets refitted for her dress. Now, it was said that when they put the dress on her, they couldn't really close the dress up because I told y'all she was gaining weight, you know? And they thought it was just because she was happy with branding. Looking at the picture, I see belly. And to be quite honest, after I re-looked at the picture and re-looked at the picture and re-looked at the picture, and by me knowing now that she is pregnant, I was questioning myself. I'm like, is it because I know she's pregnant, or do I really see a belly? Bitch, I really see a belly. Because I didn't know she was pregnant when I came across this shit. I didn't know she was pregnant. But I want y'all to tell me if y'all see the same shit I see. May 6th come. They're taking all these pictures and stuff because they're going to prom. So they're taking pictures, you know, doing the regular prom shit, as you see. And they go to prom. Now, throughout that night, like starting that night, Skylar kept telling Brandon, I have the worst cramps that I've ever had in my life. She told, those are her exact words. I quote, these are the worst cramps I've ever had in my life, end quote. She also said to him, oh my God, I'm in the worst pain I've ever been in. She also said, I don't know what's wrong with me tonight, but I am in so much pain. Supposedly, he ain't know about the pregnancy either. And I'm going to tell you why I said supposedly a little later. Supposedly, he ain't know about this pregnancy. That night, she complaining about being in pain. May 7th comes. She's still in pain. Supposedly, she told no one. When I say May 7th, I mean right after prom, after midnight. She's in so much pain. She gives birth in her family's bathroom in the middle of the night. Here's the kicker for me. Like, this is the honest to God kicker for me. Her brother's room. I'm gonna tell y'all something personal about me, as y'all should already know. If y'all my OGs, y'all know. I have 4 children. And let me tell you, baby, every child, I screamed at the top of my lungs. okay? I screamed. I shit you not, like legit scream. You heard nothing but screams from me as I'm pushing my kids out. And I felt like it got worse with each kid. I had problems actually holding a pregnancy, so every pregnancy was high risk. And that's because I had cervical cancer. Yes, I went through some issues with holding pregnancies. That's why this story bothers the fuck out of me. So like I said, she gave birth to this baby in the bathroom that's right next to her fucking brother's room. But he supposedly ain't here shit. So now there's a question about this, and I'm gonna tell you. She gives birth to this baby May 7th, 2017, in the middle of the night, early morning, to a baby girl. That baby's girl's name is Annabelle. I don't feel like it's okay to call a baby a it. So baby Annabelle was born, and according to Skylar, she was a stillborn. Okay, I'm gonna jump ahead real fast. From May 7th, we going jump from May 7th to July 14th. July 14th comes around. She's at her grandmother's house swimming with her cousins, and the police is at Skylar's home knocking on the door. Scott opens the door, and he is greeted by the police. They say, hey, you need to speak to Brooke, aka Skylar, because she may have witnessed a crime. Need to ask her a few questions. So the father like, okay, she's at her grandmother's house, let me call her real fast. He runs in, calls her. He's like, hey, the police are here. They need you to come down to the station because they have to ask you a few questions. Get your ass home. So Kim, Skylar, and Scott all go to the police station. The police tell Kim and Scott, hey, sit here. She's not going to need you in here. We're just going to ask her a few questions. She's not in any trouble. So they're sitting out there while her ass is now in the interrogation room. Now they say to her, hey, we have a report that you were pregnant. Your OB had called. So y'all know, doctors are mandated reporters. They are obligated to call in anything that they see is suspicious or if they have a feeling about something. Even if they feel like it's very small, they have to call it in. Because something that looks very small to them, it end up being a really big thing. Like I said, the OB called them and reported that she was pregnant. But there's no record anywhere of her coming in for prenatal care, her have given birth. She literally called around looking for information to see if this girl really followed through on her word. Just remember when I said that doctor had gave her those birth control pills, she told her she has to come back in a month. Skylar never showed back up. Skylar's ass starts spilling all of the tea. Understand me? She's in the interrogation room with Lieutenant John Fain. There's also another detective in the room. I can't think of her name right now. I'm sorry, y'all. Lieutenant did read her rights when she walked up in that room. She didn't just walk up in the room and it was what it was. He read her rights. Everything's on camera. Now, supposedly, when she had her baby, May 7th, she called the doctor's office and told the doctor that she actually had the baby. The baby was a stillborn, and all she could think to do was to bury the baby in the backyard. But she didn't kill her, though. That's actually her words. I'm literally reading her words to you guys. She literally said that. So Detective Fain was stunned that she even admitted to it. She claims she could think to do was to bury the baby because that's what they do with dead bodies. She said that. Now Skylar says, and I quote, she just kind of came out and I tried and tried. I'm trying to hold her and see if she's breathing, but she doesn't have a heartbeat, end quote. So Lieutenant Fain is like, so now what do you do when you realize that she's not going to make it? Skylar says, I have to bury her. I couldn't tell nobody. Now she says she couldn't tell anyone. So she quietly walked down the steps, got a small gardening trowel, then dug a shallow grave in her backyard. She said, I did not try to kill my baby. This is something she said consistently. For me, it throws me off. Because why do you keep saying it? After about 45 minutes of questioning, Lieutenant Fain told Skylar's parents the reason why he brought her daughter in. Now, Scott Richardson said that they were in shock. They both say they had no idea. They would have known if she was pregnant, that whole thing. Lieutenant Fain let the parents go into the interrogation room to have some time with their daughter, and Scott's a little upset afterwards because he finds out, oh, we were being recorded. What the f do you expect? Your daughter buried her baby in your backyard. What do you think? You lucky I ain't record your ass walking in my door. When the parents are in the interrogation room, Skylar keeps saying to her parents, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, Mommy. I am so sorry. Scott says you should have told us. She tells her parents the baby's name is Annabelle. Y'all think about this for a second, because for me, this really fucks me up. This baby is born in a bathroom. Nobody knows about it. Supposedly, it's a stillborn baby. And you take Annabelle out to the backyard and bury her without waking your fucking parents. That's disgusting to me. Come to find out, the baby wasn't Brandon's baby. Baby was Trey's baby, the guy she was dating in 2016. While they're still in the interrogation room with their daughter, investigators now head to the Richardson's house. After 5 hours, or maybe a little over, Skylar and her parents were allowed to go home. 6 days later, Lieutenant Fain called for Skylar to come back in. By the way, they did find the baby and all of that. Now, they told Scott and Kim that she wasn't in any trouble. But when Skylar comes in, now Detective Fain has Brandy Carter with him. Brandy Carter is the investigator. I was trying to remember her name, remember? What Skylar don't know in the moment is Brandy and Lieutenant John Fain have some damning evidence now. The coroner's report came back. They start in by saying, we know that there's more to the story than what you're telling us. Dr. Elizabeth Murray, she's an anthropologist, and she analyzed the remains and reported that there was evidence of the baby's bones being burned. Detective Carter says to Skylar, there's some evidence that shows there was some burning on the baby. And Skylar says, burned her? I promise I didn't do anything. I didn't burn her. I swear on everything. Now, I want y'all to remember what I'm about to say to you, okay? By her denying this 17 times, this plays a part in this story. Lieutenant Fain says that Dr. Murray told him that she was for certain that baby was set on fire. So Detective Carter says to Skylar, and I quote, maybe it was just one of those things where you thought, like with cremation, like I'm going to have some ashes I can keep of my daughter. That plays a part in this too. Remember that line. And guess what? Skylar changes her damn story. Detective Carter says, and I quote, tell me everything that you were thinking and everything that you did. Skylar says, I had a lighter and it didn't stop there. Lieutenant Fain says, or asks, did you hear anything like gurgle sounds? So Skylar made a confession that maybe the baby was alive when she was born. She says, and I quote, well, I think I may have made a noise, maybe a little noise, a gurgle. This interrogation had lasted an hour. So now the detectives have enough to arrest her because they theorized that this girl suffocated that baby. And then after she was, been handcuffed and stuff, she told her parents what she told the detectives. Scott says, you tried to cremate the baby? And Skylar says, yeah, a little. I did it a little. Now let me tell you this. They first requested for the bail to be set at $1 million. But the judge said by Skylar being forthcoming, he lowered it to $50,000, dog. So she made bail. Now, when they arrested her that first time, she was charged with reckless homicide. But 2 weeks later, after she made bail, they go before the grand jury and arrested Skylar again. Now, the prosecutor's name is David Fornshell. Now, they gave her aggravated murder, and that carries a life sentence in Ohio. The other charges were involuntary manslaughter, endangering children, and abuse of corpse. The prosecutor, David, he felt like he had everything. That confession for me is enough, to be quite honest. If I was in the jury, like you told me that, I don't have to hear nothing else. David Fornshell, which is the prosecutor, he felt as if the family looking like the perfect family and everything, that her motive was it would mess up the way they look on the outside because, her mama with the perfect image thing, I do want to say this. When they went into the interrogation room the first time with Brooke, mother, Kim, said he had a perfect life. Charlie Riggers was the defense attorney. He was pissed off that the prosecutor was basically saying that Skylar was a cold-blooded killer. I feel like she is. But Skylar spent only the weekend in jail for her family to pay another $50,000 to get her ass out. She got bonded out, y'all, again. As y'all know, if you are suspected of being a baby killer, you know damn well you're going to be one of the most hated people there is. I don't know why they act like they were so shocked at how the media acted and how people had acted towards them. Like, why is that such a shocker to you? How is that a shocker to you? But whatever. They really weren't happy that Skylar was vilified on social media too. Like, that was a thing for them. She said, every move we make, everything we do, we're judged, we're followed, stopped, we were crucified, and that's putting it mildly. She then goes into talking about how people were sitting out in front of her house, protesting, and things like that. I'm not sure what you expected, though. She said that they were out there threatening her and the family, things like that. She said it was, difficult for them to leave their house. I forgot to mention the defense attorneys was Charlie M. Riggers, and his son's name is Charlie H. Riggers. They were both on this case together. They swore up and down it was a false confession and everything. The father, Charlie, says that he can tell that Skylar didn't kill her baby. It was a false confession. And, this is important. I forgot to tell y'all, Dr. Elizabeth Murray, the anthropologist, she retracted her story about the baby being burned. I don't know if y'all remember me telling y'all in the beginning where she swore up and down. She was correct. She knew what she was like. She knew the baby was burned. Yeah, all of a sudden, she's retracting that. She wouldn't come to court and sit on the stand. The prosecutor had offered to take off the aggravated murder charge, which carries life, and as if she pleads guilty to the other charges, she would only have to do 15 years. She turned it down. And while she was on bond, she had to wear an ankle monitor. Ooh, but you're in the comfort of your own home. Anyway, September 3rd, 2019, the trial started. The defense attorneys felt like the jury was tainted already because of the case, like a baby killer, So he felt like the jury was already tainted with the impressions that they have of her. Listen to this, y'all. The court started, this came out. Listen, you ready? She sent this text. I am literally speechless with how happy I am. My belly is back. OMG, I never, ever, ever, ever letting it get like this again. That's what she texted her mother hours after giving birth. She also sent a text, quote, about to see me looking freaking better than before, OMG. She sent a selfie she took in the gym the same afternoon. Skylar admitted she saw her daughter's arms moving a little, heard her gurgle, and heard her cry. She said that she may have held the baby too tight. The defense attorney said that Skylar was just telling the detectives what they wanted to hear. That was his argument. They had called the assistant to Dr. Murray, the stand, and they had asked what her opinion was, and she said homicidal violence of undetermined etiology. I think I butchered that. But of course, the defense says there's no physical evidence. So, as they did only have skeleton remains of the baby, it wasn't like the baby was a baby anymore. Of course, they cannot tell you if the baby was alive or not when it was born or when she was born, for the simple fact that the baby's not a baby anymore. It's a skeleton now. Like, not it, but you get what I'm saying. It can't tell. Skylar sends a text to Brandon and says, I quote, I'm just in freak out mode. I want to look amazing again more than anything. I hate being like this so much. No, that was actually to her mother. I'm sorry. That was to her mother, and prom was coming. She sends another text. I quote, I am literally so excited now just for dinner to wear something cute. Yay, my belly is back now. I am taking this opportunity to make it amazing. Please tell me what the hell y'all think. Skylar also claimed she never cut an umbilical cord when she had the baby. I found that to be nuts. And Skylar only gained 15 pounds during her pregnancy. But I'm saying though, when I was pregnant, I also I lost a lot of weight when I was pregnant with my daughter. Like, a lot. Basically, they were trying to use that to say something was wrong with her pregnancy, which could have caused the death of the baby. Basically, that was me just summing up the trial. So, my opinion, I feel like she did hurt that baby. I feel like that baby did come out alive. I also feel as if her mother knew. Because why you sending them texts to her? Why? What sense do it make? Why would you randomly send a text to your mom talking about, oh, I don't want my belly to look like this? Like, come on, that sounds crazy to me. There wasn't any more conversation about that. So where did that come from? Mother damn knew. And I also feel like her mother had a hand in helping her get rid of that baby. Keep the image of the family being perfect. But where Skylar fucked up was calling a fucking OB, telling the OB she gave birth and buried the baby in the backyard. They actually would have got away with that bullshit. But as I said, doctors are mandated reporters. They have to report whatever they get. September 12, 2019. Even with the confession and everything, she was acquitted of all fucking charges. That pisses me off. All except for one. The only thing they made her guilty of was abuse of corpse. She had gotten 3 years of fucking probation. Unmonitored probation, by the way. This girl out here living her life after she lost her daughter, Annabelle. Even if the situation was the baby coming out as a stillborn baby, that would mentally fuck me up. I wouldn't be able to live my life the way this girl living her life by going off to college and everything. She's literally living a normal life. Her daughter is gone. Her daughter is gone. They even gave the remains back to the family so they can have a proper burial of the baby. Sorry, but I'm not, because this pisses me off. I had trouble carrying my kids, so it pisses me off for there to be families out here, because God luckily blessed me. I was lucky to get blessed with my 4. But honestly, there's people out here that don't get blessed to have their children. There's people out here that are told every day that they cannot have kids, and it actually ends up being the case. Yes, I was told I couldn't have kids, but I did have kids. And there's people out here that goes through that and they want children. Why couldn't you put that baby up for adoption? Because regardless of what you tell me, that baby was alive. You wouldn't have said that bullshit. I'm trying not to get like, I swear y'all don't understand. This was a hard video for me. I ain't going front. I'm shocked they ain't break down. And I'm trying not to right now because it pisses me off. That baby was not a stillborn baby. But when she spoke in court, she says, thank you, Your Honor. I just wanted to say how sorry I am. I can sometimes be selfish, but I would like to think that I've become a better with the knowledge that I've upset everyone and hurt so many people with what I've done. I am forever sorry, and I'm so sorry. I really, really am sorry, and I understand, and thank you. The fuckery. The fuckery. For me, that's another fucking confession. I'ma calm down. I can't do too much more of this. I'm telling you, I'm literally about to break down because it pisses me off. So, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up, comment, like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. That way you're notified every time I drop a new video. And yes, I do mean every time. Guys, if you want to look up the story to get more information, please do. I hope I carried it through as best as possible.